Why do women have to get married? How free you are. Eat full by one person. The whole family is not hungry. Buy whatever you want. I've understood this idea after experiencing it. This may be the mystery to the authorities. I didn't expect my boyfriend to do this behind his back. Zhang Qiu repeats his re-education to a company by Yue Guang who failed the exam. I didn't fill out my application without hiding it from my family. Seeing Zhang's parents praise her son for having high scores when they meet everyone. I can't bear to tell them the truth. Forced Zhang's mother to stop. Forced Zhang Qiu to choose a famous university. Zhang Qiu rises all the way. But it's impossible with Bai Yue Guang. He knew it was because I was talking too much. Hate me to the bone. Torture me to death. I'm not meddling in other people's business anymore. It's okay if you don't want a boyfriend like this. Just watch the Zhang family make people fuss. Everyone has to pay for their actions. I will never interfere with other people's cause and effect, good-looking and high-quality completion. Thousands of cool articles. Yuanbao Township fragrance. It accounts for half of it. The full-text first update of the wonderful story is now starting to get results in the college entrance examination. That day, Zhang Qiu's face was filled with sorrow. Because his white moonlight high CC performed abnormally. The university they agreed to miss. Zhang Qiu performed well. Much higher than the admission scores in previous years. The corridor is C. CC's eyes were red with tears. Word by word. Zhang Qiu. I'm just making mistakes. Is it good to accompany me to repeat the exam? I will definitely pass Zhang Qiu next year. A little hesitation. Summer not the time to apply for a volunteer. My parents are watching you report it first. Isn't it enough to delete the last minute of your choice? Hai Cici wiped her tears in anger. Zhang Qiu. Do you don't love it? I don't want to repeat the exam with me. Are you thinking about Du Lei? How could it be? Zhang Qiu took Hai Cici into his arms. Comfort softly. Don't worry. No matter when. I'll be with you. It's so kind of you. I pinched my arm and it hurts. Let me know that I was reborn. Zhang Qiu and I are neighbors opposite the door. Growing up together since childhood. It's natural to be together. Previous life. I happened to hear this conversation between Zhang Qiu and Hai Cici. Thinking that Zhang Qiu only got 650 in the exam on weekdays. Rare to perform exceptionally. I've got 680 tests. You shouldn't miss the opportunity to go to a top university. At that time, I was not thinking that they were colluding with me on their backs. I'm thinking about Zhang Qiu's future. Hesitate again and again. I still told Zhang Qiu's parents about the news. Zhang Qiu's parents stared at Zhang Qiu secretly. Seeing him want to delete his wish at the last minute. He slapped him in anger. And forced him and Hai Cici to separate immediately. Zhang Qiu's volunteer has been saved. Hai Ci. But he was heartbroken by his treacherous behavior. Never see him again. I was drunk that night. Zhang Qiu smashed open the door of my house. Slam and choke my neck. Du Lei is you telling my parents, right? You are a star. I shouldn't be with you. You really defeat me. What a vicious thought. I was so pinched by Zhang Qiu that I couldn't speak. Until his parents heard the news. Only then did the crazy Zhang Qiu be pulled away. I couldn't help crying. I don't know where I did it wrong. Hai Ci's performance is not outstanding. Even if it doesn't perform properly. It is absolutely impossible to get into the same university as Zhang Qiu. Repeating the year is very variable. No one knows what will happen. Just thinking about his good intentions. I really can't bear to see Zhang Qiu fall so self-destructive. I ruined my future that I worked hard for many years. I can't bear to see the kind Uncle Zhang and Aunt Zhang's hard work over the years. Now I understand. My biggest mistake is that I shouldn't be in love. Thinking that what you did was right. I thought he would maturely know that I was right. The days that follow are no different from those of the previous life. Zhang Qiu fills out his application as usual. Zhang Qiu's parents were so happy that they couldn't stop talking. Show off your son when you meet others. I'm going to Beijing to go to university soon. I didn't remind them as I did in my previous life. Just pretend not to know anything. All I can do is to break up with him. Sure enough, at the last moment of confirming your wish, Zhang Qiu quietly deleted his only volunteer. When everyone else receives the admission letter one after another. He confessed to his parents. It means that I want to repeat the reading with Heisi. Zhang's mother never thought. My son will be so confused. Immediately fainted and was taken to the hospital by an ambulance. Zhang Qiu quietly slapped Zhang Qiu several times in the face. In the end, there is no other way. I can only send him to repeat the exam. The glorious deeds of Zhang Duo's love brain quickly spread throughout the city. Everyone thinks he's crazy. For a moment, Zhang Qiu is the pride of heaven that everyone envies. It has become a classic negative teaching material for every parent. We are in high school and are even checking for premature love behaviors under the complaints of our parents. I even hung several early love stories on the open playground. Big red banner that harms others and yourself. The heat of discussion in the class group. Fortunately, you two broke up. Otherwise, I'm afraid you will repeat the reading together. My Lele smiled. I sent a brief expression pack with me. Everything here has nothing to do with me. I've been admitted to a university in Beijing. Although it is not as good as Zhang Qiu's school to be admitted to the school. But it is also a serious school of 985. My beautiful life has just begun to disappear. The boyfriend of the previous life was stabbed. Nostalgia. Zhang Qiu didn't come to smash my door again. I spent most of my time with Heisi. But it's been a month since we met again. That day, my parents sent me to Beijing to study. Just downstairs, I met Zhang Qiu, who went to the hospital to pick up his mother and was discharged from the hospital. I wonder if our family looks energetic. It hurts Zhang's mother. Her eyes were a little wet. Squeeze a little polite smile. Lele started school so early. My mother's face wasn't that early. I didn't think about going to the attractions first. Zhang Qiu's eyes fell on me. Looks a bit complicated. At this time, the resuming class has started. I don't know if it's too many rumors. It's because of the pressure of repeating the class too much. Looks much haggard. It's completely different from the happiness that is nourished by love. Recalling all kinds of past lives. I just feel disgusting. Take your mother's arm and go quickly. It's time to not get on the plane later. Mom promised to leave. But Zhang Qiu said anxiously. Lele. I have something to tell you. I was stunned. Said subconsciously. Let's talk about it later. There is no need to say anything between us. Since the appearance of Heisi, all that remains between us is hate. This consciousness is gone without hatred. I really don't know what he is going to say to me. Zhang Qiu has a strong sense of self-esteem. Previous. I want to speak coldly like this. He must have left without looking back. But now he is paranoid in his arms. Just say one thing. My parents and Zhang family parents looked at each other. Walk away tacitly. Only Zhang Qiu and I were left in the corridor. Zhang Qiu's cold voice sounded above my head. Lele. Here that day. My conversation with Heisi. You've heard it all. I don't want to have any connection with him. Just said lightly. No. How is it possible? Zhang Qiu's emotions were obviously a little excited. Take a breath. It's just a little bit more relaxed. When I came out that day. You're clearly wiping the floor in the living room. I thought I was thrusting in my heart. He raised his head suddenly and said to Zhang Qiu. It seems to be a little difficult to speak. But when the words came, he pursed his lips and said. I thought you would think I was confused. Will advise me. We grew up together. The relationship between the two parents is very good. We're still a boyfriend and girlfriend relationship. His child is always stubborn. When you get tired of it. I will learn from adults. Talking to him with great sincerity. But it's not thanks. But his eyes that were more disgusting. Zhang's parents knew that I was wronged in Zhang Qiu. Will doubly good to me. Love me as much as my own daughter. It is precisely because of these feelings. I couldn't bear it in my last life. Zhang's parents are sad. Knowing he cheated. I still think I should dissuade me. Think of the miserable appearance of my previous life. I couldn't help but eat coldly. Joke. You are just an irrelevant person to me. Why is it worth my waste of time to advise? Zhang Qiu never seemed to have dreamed. I'll be shocked by saying such unkind words. Even his eyes widened. Lele. We grew up together. He is a childhood sweetheart. And we are childhood sweethearts. We've broken up. I seem to hear some big joke. Can't help laughing. It took a while to continue to say in Zhang Qiu's puzzled eyes. Childhood girl refers to two people who grew up together. Work together. Pleasant. Grow together. For a better person, I am at most a neighbor who is forced to meet several times more than others. I haven't forgotten after we broke up what he said. He doesn't want Hassie to be jealous. But I treat it as a sick person. Now I have the face to be a childhood sweetheart in front of me. It's simply sweet and not supported. Zhang Qiu stared at me and didn't let me go. Any expression on your face? I'm sure I'm telling the truth. The tall body staggered violently afterwards. Lei Lei. I know you're jealous of Hassie. But you shouldn't. At the most important time in my life. Willful and arbitrarily. This is to blame me for not telling his parents the truth. I looked at Zhang Qiu coldly. Could it be that he was reborn? Such suspicion is only a moment. I quickly rejected. Zhang Qiu in his previous life has been smooth sailing. After completing a bachelor's degree in medicine in the country. Recommended by his tutor to study for a doctorate at a famous German university. After returning home after studying. Become the leading neurosurgeon in China. A lifelong pride. The only regret is that I was not able to be with Bai Yue Guang Hai Sisi in high school. Such a person would not have such stupid and unconscious eyes in front of him. Then the only possibility is that Zhang Qiu knew in his previous life. I heard these words. He doesn't want to give up on the opportunity to go to a good university. Don't want to refuse to re-enter Hassie's re-entry. Not happy. Then I'm sure. I can't bear to watch him give up his future. Tell him the news. This is how parents. He can go to his ideal university as he wishes. I can also push all my faults to me without any psychological burden. Resent me as expected. He took advantage of my guilt. Get all kinds of benefits for him. Always feel guilty about being a thief. Zhang Qiu looked at him with a smile when he saw me. Unconsciously surrendered. But he is confident. How? I'm wrong. Aren't you just selfish? Facing his calculating eyes. I slowly laughed. It turns out that you are reluctant to re-enter Hassie. Everything is forced. I'm thinking. Zhang Qiu immediately became angry and embarrassed. What are you talking nonsense? Of course I did it voluntarily. Since it is voluntary. Then why do I blame me for not stopping? You. Don't say I didn't hear anything. Even if I heard it. What obligation do I have to block your great love? Of course, Zhang Qiu's sarcasm to me was speechless. I'm not going to talk to him too much. Turn around and leave. But Hai Sisi suddenly rushed into the corridor from outside. He raised his hand and said to me. Scolding in his mouth. Du Lei Lei. You're so shameless. All are leaving. Still seducing Zhang Daofu here. Don't see how disgusting Zhang Qiu is. You heard this. Zhang Qiu's face was obviously a little embarrassed. But soon he looked hypocritical again. Reaching his hand over Haisi's shoulder. Sisi. Don't get me wrong. Du Lei Lei just wants to say goodbye to me? It was Zhang Qiu who took the initiative to come to me to question me. Say this. Instead, I was reluctant to leave him. Really dare to do something bad that you don't dare to take it. That moment. I really want to throw it over with a heavy slap. But I still held it back. Face the expressionless authentic. Everyone in Zhangqiu is responsible for their actions. Now that you have made the choice. Then repeat the reading honestly. Set your pure love god of war. Don't be tempted here. Instead, it's even more despised. This is undoubtedly poking Zhangqiu's lung tube. He stared at me coldly. Du Lei Lei. What do you mean? I'll save you face. Don't be shameless. You are the one who is shameless. I've had too much to eat before. Just to prevent Zhang Qiu from playing any tricks. I turned on the recording function early. Fortunately, I kept this move. Otherwise, it's really unreasonable. I'll turn on my phone. Send the recording just now to the class group. Caspian Sisi is not me entangled with Zhang Qiu. He is always entangled with me. Before you spray your mouth full of feces. Stop blindness first. After sending the message. I didn't even see these two disgusting people left without looking back. Hai Sisi's curse came from behind. Du Lei Lei. Please wait for me. I won't let you go. Hai Sisi arrogance and paranoid. Still sarcastic. Many female classmates in the class have been sarcastic and insulted by him. But he can pretend to be smart. Arrived in front of the male classmate. Another delicate and tender green tea. Many male classmates have a good face to him. As for Zhang Qiu, always look like a pretty good student. Even if you are confused and fill in your wishes. It's just a love brain. It does not affect other people's perception of other people's character at all. Now, I'll completely tear off the hypocritical faces of these two people. It is human nature to let them take another step to eat melons. But in a while, the class group exploded. After understanding the causes and consequences of the matter, news of satirizing and mocking Zhang Qiu and Hai Sisi are flooding the screen. Say they are selfish and mean. Strategy. No one wants to be involved with such a person. This person has carefully maintained his character for many years. It's considered another. I smiled coldly. The breath in my heart. Finally a little more refreshed. In my previous life, I might have had a lot of things. I think I have been with Zhang Qiu. It's because I've used tricks. Don't think it's because of Zhang Qiu's disgusting behavior. I went to school to see Zhang Qiu almost every week in 4 years of college. Wash his clothes. Pack up. He invited him to have delicious food. But the expression is cold. From time to time, I will attack me with the most vicious words. But I accept my various care with peace of mind. Until I went abroad to study. I also asked for living expenses from me who had just started working. He took the card I gave him. Some kind of glittering hatred. Du Lele. This is what you owe me. Because of your selfish and vicious. Sisi. The whereabouts are unknown so far. I hate you for the rest of my life. At that time, I was completely broken by Zhang Qiu. I think it's all my fault. Thinking about it now is ridiculous. Haisi just went to another school to repeat the exam. Just get into an ordinary university that is not in the right place. Not dead again. If Zhang Qiu's true love is stronger than Jean. Even if you go to college, you can drop out and go to study with Haisi. Even if you don't drop out of school. You can also take the train to find the school where Haisi went to find him and she did nothing. Just simply hated me. Because I hate me, I am the most cost-free. It can also bring various benefits to Vent. Thinking of the various things in the previous life. Then don't blame me for the old hatreds that exploded together. My parents were waiting at the entrance of the alley not far away to see me and said with some concern. That boy Lele Zhang Qiu bullies you. Isn't there? I don't want to explain. Just give me serious instructions. This person is not a bad person. It's really not a thing. Okay. Our family will not be in contact with their family in the future. As for Zhang's parents, they are indeed good people. My son is despicable. No matter how good your parents are, it will be useless. I don't want to have any connection with this family anymore. These days, Zhang Qiu gave up the 985 university for love. It's a big deal. My parents have heard of it. After hearing what I said, look at each other. Nodded tacitly. Don't say anything else. People who don't know the mind should be far away. With the company of parents. I arrived at university very smoothly. Watching that I've been there for 4 years. But there is almost no school to go to. I just feel infinitely sad. Very nice. This fresh and beautiful university life. Can I give me another chance to experience it again? There is no psychological burden of rumor in this life. Bundle. I don't want to take care of the giant baby in Zhang Qiu from time to time. I've had a lot more time. After completing the coursework seriously, I not only participated in various student clubs. Every day, I will also read various foreign classics in the library to help. My ideal since childhood is to be a translator. Translate various foreign aid novels. Unfortunately, Zhang Qiu's dream has been delayed completely. Now, it is me who strives to absorb nutrition. When you keep struggling, I'm very busy. But occasionally I will know the recent situation of Zhang Qiu and Hai Sisi from the high school classmate group. Senior 3 depression. The days of repeating the exam are far less beautiful than expected. The last time the recording was that Hai Sisi and Zhang Qiu had a big fight. Zhang Qiu was used to being clever and talkative. I've given up a bright future. Reread with Haisi. The two reunited not long after. After reconciliation, the two continued to go out in the repetition class. He even took out the posture of hanging his head and stinging his thighs. I just wish I could spend 24 hours a day in the sea of books. Zhang Qiu also sent me a text message. Let me not feel proud of myself when I go to college. He will definitely be admitted to Tsinghua University and Peking University next year. I sneered. Thinking about it, I finally replied a few words. You're so awesome. Zhang Qiu, a person who is not very capable and blindly confident. The more you praise, the more you become, the more you become, the more you become. So I usually point out his shortcomings. He has to face his shortcomings. He's so tired of me. This is no more people like me. Estimate him to study from time to time. I want to see how many days he can hold on. It seems to confirm his guess. Not long after. Zhang Qiu's momentum is like a hydrogen balloon that has been released for a long time. From the initial storm, it became a little bit more mellow. As for Heisi, of course, I often send messages to scold me. Actually, I can change the number and completely avoid his entanglement. But I'm not as angry as this. The more unstable the mood. Regarding the provocative text message he sent that was similar to Zhang Qiu's meaning, it was almost the same as Zhang Qiu's. I replied with great contempt. Just your level. 8 years after resuming. I can't touch the door of Tsinghua University and Peking University. Cici's foundation is poor. Emotional unstable. My contempt doesn't work as a provocation. Instead, it will make him worry about gains and losses. These two people were only in my last life with love and happiness. I didn't plan to take revenge. Only let them die. They shouldn't have. Provoke me again and again. Then don't blame me. I've hit hard. Heisi is eager to blame herself. I wish Zhang Qiu could crush all the knowledge points and stuff them into his mind. Unfortunately, there is no shortcut to study. He took advantage of his mistakes for a long time. No use. As time passes day by day, I haven't made any progress. He is getting more and more irritable. This irritability reached its peak when I saw my classmates showing off their vivid college life in my circle of friends. I also posted a photo of me sitting on the lawn reading in the morning. Copyright. A wonderful university life. Even the air is fresh. Zhang Qiu's personality is paranoid. It's hard to live better than him. The better I'm doing, the more it will stimulate him. That low-key and sensitive expression. As expected. His angry news came soon. What Durex began to show off. This is just my daily life. Don't think you're willing to be a miserable person. The whole world is going to be hard. I replied coldly to Zhang Qiu. Send the screenshot of the message directly to Heisi to manage your boyfriend and don't harass me. No doubt. Heisi had a fierce quarrel with Zhang Qiu again. Heisi began to blame Zhang Qiu. Say I can obviously go to a very good school. But because Zhang Qiu kept forcing him to take the same 1985 university as him. This is too much pressure. Caused him to make mistakes in the college entrance examination. Otherwise, he would have been a college student in bud. Instead of the unlucky guy who still needs to study hard in the senior high school classroom. Zhang Qiu gave up the good 985 university. The anger in my heart will only be countless times greater than that of Heisi. Just suppress it with all your might. This time it broke out completely. It is said that Zhang Qiu pointed at Heisi's nose and scolded him as a devastating star. If it weren't for his strong persistence. Have to accompany him to repeat the exam. How could I fall to this point? Repeating the reading comes at a price. Not to mention whether he can perform beyond his normal performance next year. Even if it can. He also lost the qualification of a fresh graduate forever. You will be restricted everywhere in choosing a school and major. Regarding this, Heisi naturally doesn't recognize it. He immediately pointed at Zhang Qiu's nose and cursed angrily. Go back and scold him. It's just about greed for your own beauty. I just can't bear to separate from myself. Why do you need to find so many excuses? Be good and stand. I nodded. Zhang Qiu was originally a good and stable villain. Heisi didn't scold him wrong. But I didn't expect that the so-called vows could not stand the test. Not even 2 months. It's about to fall apart. Have fun chatting in the high school group. Many students are watching the fun without much trouble. I also secretly took photos of Zhang Qiu and Hai. Video of Cici arguing on the playground. When the two argued fiercely, they refused to give in to each other. Entangled. Zhang Qiu raised his hand and slapped the sea. CC slap. That slap was fast and fierce. Hai CC was knocked to the ground. It attracted countless people to stop and watch. There will be comments soon below the video. Things are impermanent. 2 months ago. These two are still fairy couples that everyone envies. All martial arts have been staged in just a few days. Sure enough, love is unreliable. Someone quickly expressed his objections. A fairy couple who can't go to a good university by themselves. Just take someone else to hell to you. Do we want to be with the school beauty? Only the big school beauties are worthy of the pure love of God of War. People are awake nowadays. A mere illusory love. It must not be an obstacle to future and destiny. I thought these two guys had a great time fighting every day. Don't have time to harass me again. But I didn't expect Zhang Qiu to come to the school to find it directly. I have no idea. How long has he been waiting outside the library? A dusty body. I saw me rushing over. There is unconcealed excitement in his tone. Lei Lei. I'll find you. Looking at Zhang Qiu's beard. Listeningly. I just feel sad. First, he went to the best medical university. Follow the best medical professor in the country. Because of the highlights of the top students and the handsome appearance of the students. Soon he became a storm. Have countless bright. And I'm just a humble dog licking. It's the atonement that makes him lose love. This is the life path of dog licking. It's good to make mistakes. Going to the wrong road. It's impossible to make up for it again. I'll take 2 steps back. Throw away. The wrist he grabbed. Why are you here? I, Zhang Qiu, bit my lip. Looks like he wants to speak but stops. Seeing that I turned around impatiently, I was about to leave. I remembered it very much. Some strange memories have always flashed in my mind recently. I remember I went to college. I've always resented you. Break me apart. With Hai C. You've been taking care of me. I've been stunned. There is no reborn person. You can also have memories of your past life. It will only be more illusory. Not really. Seeing me, I haven't spoken for a long time. Zhang Qiu was even more excited. Go forward again and hold my wrist tightly. You remember these two? Do you hate me? Betrayed you. So don't care about me anymore. Yes or no? How can you bear it? You forgive me. Lei Lei. I'll be as good as I did in my previous life. I will definitely not pay for yours. Eyes are a little blurred. Tears fell down unsatisfactory. Not touched. But Zhang Qiu sentence by sentence. Please truly awaken the painful memories of my previous life. Zhang Qiu returned from studying abroad in his previous life. Directly entered the largest hospital in Beijing. A bright future. I had already decided to quit his life. I never thought that he proposed to me without warning. The marriage proposal ceremony was very grand. Almost a sensation in the entire county. In a sea of roses. Zhang Qiu holds flowers in his hand. Amid the cheers of everyone. Kneel on one knee and handed the huge diamond ring in front of me. Lei Lei. We grew up together. The one who knows each other best. These years. You've always cared about me in every detail. Take care of me. I'm very grateful to you. Break me apart. Marry me. I'll take care of you for the rest of my life. I feel like I'm subconsciously trying to refuse recently. But it's because of the urge of parents, relatives, and friends. In a daze, Zhang Qiu let me put on a ring. Even when I wanted to return the ring back afterwards. My parents scolded me. Don't be blessed without knowing blessing. Zhang Qiu. Current conditions. What kind of wife does he want to find? Not found. Isn't it natural for you to be together? You've been together for so many years. Don't think we don't know. Don't be bad. It's not my parents who think so. After marriage. No matter how Zhang Qiu humiliated. I didn't show any of it in front of my family and friends. Every winter and summer vacation, I even ask me when I go home. Go back and forth with me. Zhang Qiu. Gentle and considerate. Successful career. Zhang Qiu's parents have treated me as much as their daughter since childhood. I will definitely not treat me in the future. Even if you are lanterns, it's hard to find. The in-laws mentioned. Zhang Qiu before. Just say that he was hurt by his youthful ignorance. I'll compensate me for the rest of my life. I was moved by the pressure from all sides and his sweet words. Married to him in a daze. I thought I finally had the bitterness and sweetness. Unexpectedly getting married is the beginning of my nightmare. After marriage, we went back to Beijing together. Evening back to Beijing. Zhang Qiu packed up his things and moved to the hospital dormitory. I asked him why he didn't live at home. He just looked at me coldly. A sarcastic smile. Du Lei. Of course it's because I feel disgusted when I see you. Zhang Qiu's words were like a thunderbolt slashing down. Made my eyes red in an instant. I looked at him in disbelief. Since you have never let go of your previous hatred, why marry me? Of course I want to torture you every day. Zhang Qiu's disgust and complacent alternately flashed with his handsome face in his usual life. This will look like a hideous evil ghost. I'll treat you well in front of everyone. We'll let everyone know that you can marry me. It's a great blessing. But that's just in front of people. Then you just keep the widow alone. After saying this, Zhang Qiu slams the door and leaves. I felt like I was drained and all my anger fell on the sofa. Insulting. Zhang Qiu does what he says. Always gentle and considerate in front of others. After my good husband took care of my parents to the extreme. He humiliated me in every way. Sarcastic comments. Never fulfilled the obligation to be a husband for one day. Under such great contrast torture. I filed for divorce repeatedly. Zhang Qiu looked humble and injured. Say she was wrong in front of everyone. She doesn't do good enough. People have a strong mind. In addition, Zhang Qiu's acting skills are good enough. Everyone thinks it's me unreasonable. Unreasonable trouble. Even my parents who have always loved me scolded me for being destroyed by the mental destruction day after day. I'm suffering from severe depression. Jumped down from a tall building. Zhang Qiu was in pain. Several times to follow me. All stopped by relatives and friends. Everyone said, Dr. Zhang's character is valuable. It's a good man who's rare in a century. Even my death is his tool for acting. After. He is even more famous. Married a noble lady from the capital whom she admired for a long time. Love a despicable man like Meima. Why should I forgive? My fists tightly clenched and my whole body was covered in hatred and breathless. Until the pain of the nails embedded in the flesh drills into the brain. I suddenly came to my senses. Cold. Go to the doctor if you have hallucinations. I won't cure. Compared to letting Zhang Qiu know if there was a flash in his mind. Those scenes are real. I hope he thinks he has a mental illness. For the proud. Physiological defects can make singing crazy. I want him to be in a very unbearable torture every day. I will never be free from anything like me in my previous life. In order not to let Zhang Qiu continue to harass me, I called his parents directly. His parents don't know what method to use. I took the person back that day. Half a semester has passed in a blink of an eye. Over the past 6 months, several boys have confessed to me one after another. There are many achievements. High-quality boys with good looks. But after experiencing Zhang Qiu, I've got a shadow on everyone. All refused without hesitation. Maybe I will still fall in love in this life. But it is definitely not that I occasionally hear news about Zhang Qiu and Hai Sisi from my classmates. Hearing the first dark forbearance period. Both of them gradually calmed down. Just miraculously rebuild it again. Just rebuild. The two of them studied peacefully for a while. But the good times don't last long. High Silicon is obsessed with live broadcasts. Listening to so many anchors. Singing and dancing in the live broadcast room. Make money easily. Think about it again, even if you get into college. It's just a social animal. Sisi decided to give up re-education. Focus on being an online anchor. Zhang Qiu also began to miss classes frequently. Help Heisi manage video account live monetization far from imagined. That's easy. The two have been struggling for a long time. Zhang Qiu used up all the 30,000 yuan he stolen from his home. No improvement either. Zhang Qiu still wants to go home and continue stealing money. He was arrested by Zhang's parents and now. Only then did I know. Zhang Qiu hasn't been to school for a long time. Zhang's mother, who was better, was only so angry that she was admitted to the hospital. The Zhang family is making trouble. Dad Zhang, who was angry, rushed to Haisisi's house. He scolded Heisi and asked Heisi's parents to pay. Otherwise, it will be instigated. Theft sent Heisi to the police station. Haisi's family conditions are not good. His parents refused to pay back the money. It was Zhang Qiu who insisted that he was seducing him. Haisi is not doing its job. The two fight. Confusion. Zhang Haisisi was pushed to the ground. After seeing Hong, I was sent to the hospital for examination. I realized I've been pregnant for more than a month. This time Haisi. My parents are even more unwilling. He yelled to let Zhang Qiu take responsibility. Otherwise it's not finished. The two got married in a mess. However, marriage is not the beginning of a good life. It's the beginning of chaos. Haisisi is irritable during pregnancy. Sitting on the sky and the earth again, quarreling again. Zhang Qiu accidentally pushed her and threw the child off. When you hear this news, I just feel extremely ironic. Previous life. Zhang Qiu has experienced many twists and turns. Found. Haisisi just found Haisisi. Haisi has long married a rich second-generation local university. The second-generation ancestor was just a little fresh to Haisisi. I think she's easy to get married to him. Don't dare to control yourself and go out to play. But Haisi gave birth to 2 daughters in succession. After not giving birth to a son, he was even more humiliated. Zhang Qiu found Hai Sisi Ho. I'm very caring about it. But Haisi didn't dare to divorce Ershi Sui. Based on the other party's property. Don't want to leave the house with nothing. The two of them are just secretly connected to each other. When I was in the worst condition, Hai Sisi is so proud. The child standing in front of me is Zhang Qiu's. Until I die. Send the child back. Recognize the ancestors and return to the ancestors. I only knew that then. They've been together for a long time. Even let Zhang Qiu marry me. How to torture me. It was all thought of by him and Hai Sisi. It's not me who broke them up. They are greedy and selfish. Want to get more. But I became the unlucky victim. This life is a messy life. He is waiting for me to return to my hometown during the Chinese New Year. What did you really feel when you met Zhang Qiu? It is better to see than to hear. He's unshaven. Eyes are empty. A large piece of stain was stained on the down jacket. A man who just turned 20. Several generations have made some contributions. If I hadn't seen him in my previous life, he still looks so energetic in his 30s. I have to suspect that he was just a pile of mud that could not be supported on the wall. He can be considered a good life that is ruined by himself. After the last meeting, Zhang Qiu has made countless calls. Ignore me. Those unforgettable hatreds in the previous life. It's flowing in my blood. I'm afraid I'll contact him more often. I can't help but want to chop him up with a knife. But it's not worth it. A great life cannot be ruined by a despicable scumbag. Zhang Qiu didn't expect to see me in the corridor. Over the past 6 months, I'm full of energy. I also learned to dress up in my spare time. I don't know how much better my whole body is than the down-and-out Zhang Qiu. Next moment, he rushed down the steps with excitement. Take advantage of height. Look at me condescendingly. Lei Lei saw that I was living such a miserable life. You're very happy. Right. Zhang Qiu has always been like this. In his opinion, all his misfortunes were caused by others. I shouldn't care about myself at all. He went to tell his parents that he had unprecedented wishes. Then he hated me with peace of mind. Let me use my whole life to atone for sins. I took a step back silently. I just feel that the same air breathing with this despicable man is disgusting. I've said it long ago. You are just an insignificant stranger to me. Are you doing well or not? It's all your own business. Have nothing to do with me. Don't say he's not doing well. Even if he dies in front of me now, I won't feel any fluctuation in my heart. Don't set off firecrackers at his funeral. All my last cultivation. You weren't like this before. You like me. You will always advise me to work hard and make progress. Zhang Qiu to be indifferent to me. Stinging the sensitive nerves. I couldn't help but feel excited again. Lei Lei. You don't want to do this. Is it good for you to turn back to the same as before? I know you're jealous. I promise I will never have any contact with him again in the future. You believe I will no longer have any contact. The white moonlight I'm thinking about is just like this. Zhang Qiu must be responsible as a man. If you are better with Haisi, I respect you as a man. Now you just make me feel disgusted. I turned sideways in disgust, carrying your suitcase to the steps. But Zhang Qiu was stopped by excitement. He had a lot of strength in his eyes. Lei Lei. Why do you become so vicious? Viciousness is a viciousness. How can I compare to her 1/10,000th of? It would be fine if he didn't know anything. After all, I am meddling in other people's business. That led to him being unable to repeat the reading with Hai Sisi. No matter what my original intention is, he's all wrong. The conversation before going to Beijing in Xi'an. Tell me accurately. Zhang Qiu knows everything. Just want to put this blame on me. By my guilt. I'm asking for everything to torture. The sarcastic smile on my face was too obvious. Even if Zhang Qiu doesn't want to see it, it won't work. He grabbed my wrist hard. Just when I was just about to call my parents out. The security door opposite the door is opened first. Know that Heisi has experienced so much trouble. Abortion again. It must be no better place. But when I suddenly saw him standing in front of me, I was still stunned. Only half a year. She is no longer the bright and lively, charming pretty girl. Her disheveled hair and her face are rough. Unbearable. Too much spots and acne. Even the nasolabial folds are deeper than before. At first glance, I thought it was a woman in her 40s. It's growing every time. Who knows the crime? Mao Mao directly turned to Zhang Qiuqiu. It really makes the evil. Who told me before? Du Lei Lei silently. Just talk every day. Your mother is still annoyed. So many years. You hate him. I want to vomit in disgust. How long has it been since I wanted to rush to offer my favor? My dads have discussed it? When did I dislike it? Lei Leiqiu is a little panicked. Shaking his head in panic. Extremely disgusted with Heisi. Look at your crazy look now. You are crazy, am I crazy? Heisi, who was driven crazy by you, looks like this. Of course, I won't care about any face. A big slap in the face. Zhang Qiuxing's mother was killed by you in her life. Never try to get rid of me in this life. Not finished speaking. The two of them got into a group again. My parents will open the door when they are born. I welcomed home and entered the door. I felt relieved. Lift your eyes and said to your parents. Parents. Let's move. I never want to see this mad dog again. Even if it's just an encounter. My dad and my mom look at each other. Smile in person. We've discussed it. You will definitely stay in Beijing to work after graduation. Sold this house. Add to the savings over the past few years. Just in time, I can buy a house and settle down in Beijing's deputy richest man. My eyes were red with emotion. Choked. Thank you, Mom and Dad. Our family can finally be reunited in peace and harmony in this life. During the Chinese New Year, I've been staying at home and not going out. This mom has been blocked by my parents just a few times and went back. From time to time, Zhang Qiu and Hai Sisi quarrels and fights broke out. The couple who used to mix oil in mealie. After all, they still live the most dislike of each other. Old houses are not soundproof. Listen to them for a few days. I can't stand it anymore. Take your parents out for a trip. Can't afford to offend. Can't hide yet. Let them bite the dog. Zhang Qiu originally married Hai Sisi because of his child. The two only held a wedding. I didn't even get a marriage certificate. This time it's a breakup. Directly separate. A few months later, Zhang Qiu returned to the resumption class. Continue to class. Heisi also regained its vitality. Send screenshots of his live broadcast income to show off his power. Du Lei Lei. So what if you get into college? What I earn in the future is not even a fraction of my income. I looked at his live video. Exposed edge rub. Backhand is a report. Green lift network. Everyone has responsibility. Can't be broken. Flowers of the motherland. Maybe there are too many people reporting the secrets. The account that Heisi just started was quickly blocked. It is said that I have been squatting for a few days. After the detention center comes out, his parents forced him to return to the resuming class. These two are really destined to be entangled together. Pity. Homework has been delayed for so long. Body and mind have been severely damaged again. Both of them only got over 500 exams. Just enough for a book. Last year's glory has only been a year. It seems like a different life to Zhang Qiu. The scenes of stars supporting the moon flashing in my mind from time to time. Even more vague. It is said that the day the test scores came out, Zhang's mother got angry again and had a heart attack. Crying while scolding the sea. Cici is depressed. It's delayed my son's life. In kind-hearted parents. I'll blame someone else's daughter. He brought his son badly. Don't even see what kind of virtue your son is. When Zhang Jua was in chaos again, Mom successfully sold her house in her hometown. Before, Zhang Qiu came to ask me again and again. Mom, advise me to forgive him. My mom is scared by him. Didn't dare to alarm others. Sold the house quietly. The day when you get the money. I took the college entrance examination. Someone in the group of Peking University comforting high school classmates said, Heisi finally chose an inconspicuous general university. Zhang Qiuting didn't go with him. Instead, choose to repeat the reading again. He kept telling me what he had said. He knows it's wrong. Will definitely be admitted to my university. Let me wait for him. I've smiled. The eternal commotion that you can't get. Unfortunately, one wrong step is good. No one will wait for anyone else. What's more, it's a grudge in the past. In the third year of junior high school, I was qualified to study in the United States as an excellent exchange student. Closer to your ideal. Zhang Qiu also experienced 2 years of restudying career. Take the college entrance examination again. One day, before the college entrance examination, Zhang Qiu called me on someone else's cell phone. Poor Cici. Lei. I'll definitely get into your university. You wait for me. I didn't say anything. The departing groundbreaking electric test. Emotions are important before the exam. I have nothing to do in the month. The more irritable Zhang Qiu's mentality becomes. Want to dream about psychological comfort here? Proof of. All Zhang Qiu's luck was exhausted in the year of the first college entrance examination. Even if you repeat the study, try your best every year. He still performed poorly in the first exam. At noon this day, I used a small account to repost a post explaining cheating in the college entrance examination to my friends. Copyright. Cheating methods are getting more and more advanced now. Not to be defended. Zhang Qiu secretly joined my occupant as a classmate. He thought I didn't know. But I know everything. I sent this message to him on purpose. Excitement of abnormal exams. Almost collapsed by Zhang Qiu. My posts on my circle of friends inspired him. He really took the risk. Go online to buy answers and cheat by the invigilator on the spot. It proved that Zhang Qiu's cheating was recorded in his personal file. No college entrance examinations are allowed within 3 years. Become a stain for his life. When Zhang Qiu knew the punishment result. No yelling and making trouble. Just keep yourself alone. In the house. A few days later, I received a message. Lei. Everything I'm experiencing now is retribution. Right. I don't know how much he could arouse in his previous life. Can you see your success or success? Highly energetic appearance. If this is a strong contrast. Enough to make him feel in pain for the rest of his life. But it has nothing to do with me. I'm going to study abroad. On the day of going abroad, Mom and Dad take me to the airport together. Tell me to take good care of myself abroad. I'll reassure them. Tell them too. I will definitely return to work after I finish my studies. Never stay abroad. The family is reluctant to say goodbye. Sudden. From a distance, the crying sounds of babies and toddlers came from. Look back subconsciously. Seeing a man who looks like an explosive household, he slapped hard. The woman who was beaten on his wife's face did not dare to say anything. Just keep patting the baby in his arms. The crying little girl is only 2 or 3 years old. Keep pulling her skirt and calling me Mom. Look carefully. Her lower abdomen bulged slightly. Apparently, I'm still pregnant with a child. This body shape. I realized it later. The woman in front of you is the C that has not been seen in a few years. Cici. Previous life. That's what she is. Stick your stomach. Show your power in front of me. I just don't know who this child belongs to. Thousands of thoughts in my heart. Mom pulled my sleeve. It's time for Lei to leave. I nodded. Turn around and say goodbye to your parents and walk towards the security checkpoint not far away. The past is no longer important. What's important is that my life will be bright from now on. All heard.